Some of the biggest news in crypto today, we'll be breaking down XRP's position, what this means for the market, and also what it means for the token. You guys don't want to miss this one. It's going to be a great one. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into Tech Path. I do want to thank our sponsor today, and that is Tangem. Maybe one of the places that would be good for your self-custody of your XRP. Super easy. If you're brand new to self-custody, this is the one for you. Make sure and hit the Get Tangem button right there at the top right. It's going to get you to the 3-card set. Choose that one. This will get you an extra backup. And of course, use our link down below. It does help the channel. All right, let's go into a couple of points right here. And I think the headline that should be out there on so many of these is that the SEC did in fact fine Ripple. Yes, that is true. But they reduced the fine by 94%. That should be the headline. 94%, recognizing they had overplayed their hand. We respect the court's decision and have clarity to continue growing our company. Of course, this is a big deal for Brad Garlinghouse and the Ripple team. They are moving pretty quickly. I want to go to a couple of clips here that'll align some things that are going on within XRP. This was Meta Lawman talking about the SEC's potential to appeal. Take a look.
My guess is that they will appeal. Basically kicks out disgorgement. So the SEC hates that. If they can't get disgorgement without proving losses, it impacts significantly pending cases as well as other cases that they would like to bring. But the even bigger issue, trillion-dollar question, are those securities transactions? And Judge Torres said, are not investment contracts, do not violate the securities laws, are okay. And so that impacts Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, others. And the Binance judge followed Judge Torres's reasoning. The SEC doesn't want this to snowball. So this issue is the most important issue really to all of crypto.
I'm surprised we have not seen movement. Of course, with the exchanges themselves, Coinbase especially, even though we've seen a little bit of movement in the stock prices, again, granted because of some of the things that have been happening this week. But I want to go to another clip here because this gets into the last remaining exchange that has not relisted XRP, and that is Robinhood. Listen to this.
Mizuho Securities USA's senior fintech analyst Dan Dolev, he's got an outperform rating and a $24 price target. So can you really buy it here?
100%. And the reason we like it, they really smoked earnings, right? I mean, revenues are up 40%, EBITDA is up 100%, assets under custody, all-time highs, like 60% growth in gold customers. They're gaining share from like Schwab and the other brokers, like the actual real brokers, traditional brokers, firing on all cylinders, and they're actually adding more cylinders now.
The earnings came in yesterday, absolutely blasted. That's what they were talking about. But remember, I think Vlad their CEO, has a lot of things up his sleeve. This is a clip of him talking about what could happen in October. Take a look.
Finally, there's plenty more coming, including our inaugural Hood Summit in October. We had a lot of positive feedback from our gold event in March, so we decided to host a special event just for our active traders. And this will be much bigger than the gold event. We'll be launching some awesome new products that we can't wait to tell you about.
All right, so remember, there have been a couple of acquisitions by Robinhood. Remember, they were looking at launching their card. It hasn't come yet. So Vlad, I'm talking to you now. We need to get those cards out there. This is the new credit card from Robinhood that I think will start to expose a lot of other financial instruments and products coming out of them. He hints at a couple of things that could be coming to the U.S. in the crypto side of things. Listen to this clip.
Bitstamp, that is. Right. It's Europe-based. And in this particular case, MiCA, which is the crypto asset regulation, is going live. So there's an established regulatory framework. Unfortunately, Europe is a little bit ahead in this regard, but I don't think the U.S. is too far behind. It's always kind of darkest before dawn, as they say.
Meaning American customers will not be able to necessarily use some of these services, right?
Well, again, I think it gets a little tricky with the institutional business. We haven't yet gotten to the point where we're going to discuss the details of exactly how the integration is going to go, but we do anticipate it serving global customers.
I think it means, yes, they're most likely getting the indicators from the U.S. lawmakers, as well as also the regulators, that this is going to start aligning well with their strategy. Now, the whole idea was that we could see a relisting of XRP on Robinhood. And I think this is a good one because it would get into maybe the XRP faithful could have a pretty big impact. Here's a clip that was kind of talking about this. Take a look. A relisting on XRP over on Robinhood. This could happen as early as next month in August.
I saw some speculators online saying that perhaps the Bitstamp acquisition might lead Robinhood to list XRP. And I wondered if you had commentary on that.
When we list an asset or when we start to offer it, we don't announce it in advance. We want to prevent any kind of insider trading or people that are more in the known than the other. So no comment on that, but if there was anything, we will not tell you in any way.
I understand that. It's okay. We can make speculation about it. I think they will. And of course, that's what we're waiting for. And I think that will be the case. Another news item here, Ripple's options. They're avoiding the ODL transactions within the U.S. And they're going to do this by utilizing possibly Ripple's USD stablecoin. So that is an interesting scenario that, again, very bullish for XRP and Ripple overall going forward. Other things, of course, I want to kind of hit on this right here. And that is the announcement. We talked about this a little bit last week, August 19th. This is coming up here in just a couple of weeks to improve stability, reduce node operations, and enhance security. This, of course, is the XRP ledger on testnet. The other thing is they're talking about the reset for testing the tokenized U.S. Treasury bills with Ripple investing. I know 10 million is not a lot, but that's still an investment that I think is going in the right direction. So again, more bullish potential here for Ripple's strategy going into the tokenized securities and Treasury bills market. All right, so I've got another clip here. This is our interview with 21 Shares. We were talking a little bit about XRP and an ETF. Could that be a possibility? Remember, it's not a security now, so could this play into the hands of asset managers out there going into an ETF strategy? Take a look. Not a security because there's no futures needed there. Why not see an XRP maybe go to market much faster here? What are your thoughts on that?
We listed the world's first and have the world's largest Ripple ETP. We're bullish on XRP as an asset. We've published a lot of a lot of research about it. I would say that it's absolutely part of our product vision and ambition globally, not just in America.
Okay. Part of their product vision globally, not just in the U.S. So I don't know, guys. Maybe this is heating up much faster. Could we see a lot of more bullish news coming out? Remember, Swell is happening here in Miami, so there could be a few things lining up here. I want to go to a clip because this is other news, but it does talk about, just the framework of the SEC, because there's a lot of things that really kind of aligns with what the SEC is trying to do, not only in crypto, but in business in general. This is a clip of Gensler and Hester Pierce in the Small Business Capital Formation Advisory Committee. And it's interesting. I want you to watch this.
Okay, good morning and welcome to today's meeting of the SEC's Small Business Capital Formation Advisory Committee. I'd love to start with remarks from Commissioner Peirce, who is here with us in person. Thank you.
Crowdfunding can provide early stage companies with a, quote, simple and inexpensive method of raising capital to help all stripes of entrepreneurs access capital and allow ordinary people to make investments that have traditionally been limited to the wealthy and connected. An entrepreneur who has built a small company with promising commercial prospects would like to introduce a crypto token. With whom should that entrepreneur speak?
Wonderful. Chair Gensler, are you able to hear us now?
Yes, very well. I was able to hear Commissioner Peirce's discussion of angels in Ohio.
Wonderful.
Where I assure you, Commissioner Peirce, there are many people and others that could be angels in any state of this country.
I talk to entrepreneurs all the time and they're like, okay, well, this is the type of company I have and this is the type of funding I'm looking for. And then, a lot of it comes down to they just have to network and network and network, just trying to find the people that match up to them. I mean, I know a lot of people in angel world, but I have struggles even to talk to an entrepreneur and they're like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And then I'm like thinking through, like, who do I know? And there isn't necessarily a place that you can go to find out. I mean, the Angel Capital Association's website, we try to put a list of the angel groups that are out there and kind of what their focus is, but it's like the matchmaking is very challenging and they're not allowed to talk about it. So that becomes very challenging too.
But I think that that's a big deal because, I mean, they're not wanting to actually participate in angel investing ever again. I'm going back to real estate or something else. And I've seen it.
Can you explain a bit about what's the reasoning behind a startup not being able to publicly say that they're raising?
As I've said in the past, the commission acts within the law and how the courts interpret the law. I believe that the vast majority of crypto assets are investment contracts and thus subject to the federal securities laws. To investors who may be listening to this webcast, I encourage investors to exercise caution about the myriad risk associated with products whose value is tied to crypto securities.
All right, so the point of this clip really just to align in the sense that the SEC continues to press on small business, startups, entrepreneurs. This is enraging, I think, the business community as a whole. And when you enrage the business community, typically it does not align with the Democratic and even the Republican efforts of what they're trying to do in D.C. That being the point, you look at this. Democrats launching their Crypto4Harris campaign to counter Donald Trump. And this is going to be happening next week. We'll have Ro Khanna kind of leading that. We'll get a chance to hear, maybe for the first time, what Harris's position is in terms of crypto in general. Does this mean it's positive, or is it just, kind of kicking the can down the road and holding the position of what the Biden administration has been? We'll find out in a couple of days. It'll be one of those things I think it'll play into it. Now, with that being the case, the other thing that could be very positive for the crypto community would be when this transition occurs, this is an opportunity because at that point you could, put a little pressure on Gensler to leave, or he might just end up in a position where he's just resigning because of the friction that it could be in the overall scenario of what's happening within DC. I think it could happen either way. Trump gets in, obviously. But even if Harris gets in, because of the rub between Harris and Senator Warren, that's another angle that could put a lot of pressure on Gensler. We'll find out, make sure and track that. 145 days out, we'll see. That would be one of the biggest bull days, I think, in crypto is when Gensler steps away from that position. All right, if you guys are not in our Diamond Circle, make sure and get in. It's a great place to get additional content, and make sure and like this video. Just click the like button. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that. It's a great thing because it's going to get it into your algorithm. It's also going to help other people find this video. And of course, if you're not following me out there on X, do that. It's @PaulBaron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechBath.